A Stoic Guide to Mastering 2026 and Beyond by Sculpted Grace. Introduction: The art of turning inward. In a world that constantly demands your attention, true power begins when you reclaim it. Everyone tells you to chase more money, more validation, more recognition. But Stoicism teaches something radical. Stop chasing. Start cultivating. Because when you learn to focus on yourself, when you master your thoughts, your actions, your peace, the rest of the world begins to realign. It's not about withdrawing from life. It's about returning to your center. It's about building an inner fortress so strong that no storm outside can shake your foundation. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's the essence of Stoicism. Strength through self-control, peace through perspective, power through discipline. This is Sculpted Grace. And these are 12 Stoic lessons to help you focus inward, master yourself, and watch everything fall into place. Lesson 1. Control the controllable. Most people live in chaos because they try to control what they never could. They fight the weather. They fight traffic. They fight other people's opinions. But the Stoic? He fights only one battle, the one within. Epictetus said, "Some things are in our control and others not." That's not just philosophy. That's survival. The world will never stop testing you. People will disappoint you. Plans will collapse. But your reaction, that's yours. When something goes wrong, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask, "What now?" Because when you focus on what's within your control, your effort, your mindset, your integrity, you become unstoppable. You can't calm the storm, but you can control the ship. Every day, life gives you two buckets. One labeled control, the other worry. Most people pour their energy into the wrong one. The Stoic chooses wisely. He plants action where it will grow and accepts the rest with grace. The moment you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you begin to experience peace, and that peace, it's what allows everything else to fall into place. Lesson 2. Detach from external validation. The need for approval is a quiet form of slavery. We scroll, we post, we compare, hoping someone out there will confirm we're enough. But Stoicism says, stop performing for the crowd. You are not on their stage. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." That line could have been written yesterday. When you chase validation, you hand over your peace to the unpredictable. You become like a leaf moved by every gust of other people's opinions. Detach from it. Ask yourself, if no one saw this, would I still do it? If the answer is yes, you're free. If the answer is no, you're performing. Detachment doesn't mean arrogance. It means self-trust. It means knowing your worth without needing applause. Because when you act from principle, not popularity, you move with a different kind of power. Quiet, steady, unshakable. And that's when you stop chasing the world's approval and start earning your own respect. Lesson 3. Discipline is freedom. Freedom isn't doing whatever you want. It's having the strength to do what you should. Most people think discipline is a cage. The Stoic knows it's a key. Seneca said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Think about that. Without discipline, your impulses rule you. Your cravings make your schedule. Your laziness makes your excuses. That isn't freedom. That's slavery to comfort. The disciplined person wakes up with purpose, even when he doesn't feel like it. He doesn't wait for motivation. He acts from commitment. Every repetition of discipline carves strength into the mind. Every time you resist distraction, you build trust with yourself. The Stoics practice this daily through writing, fasting, physical training, silence. Not to prove something to the world, but to prove something to themselves. I can endure. I can stay steady. I can command my will. Discipline doesn't restrict life. It refines it. It filters out the meaningless. It makes space for mastery. And when you master yourself, you gain the ultimate freedom, the ability to act, think, and live according to your values. Discipline is not punishment. It's self-respect in motion. Lesson 4. Practice gratitude in chaos. Gratitude is easy when everything's calm, but Stoic gratitude shows its strength in chaos. Seneca wrote, "He is a great man who uses earthenware dishes as if they were silver, but he is equally great who uses silver as if it were earthenware." The Stoic learns to stay grateful not for what he has, but for who he is becoming. Gratitude reframes the storm. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you learn to ask, "What is this teaching me?" That simple shift changes everything. Gratitude keeps your ego small and your vision wide. It reminds you that every challenge is a gift wrapped in discomfort, and it keeps you anchored when life starts to spin. Try this. At the end of the day, write down 3 things that tested you and what each one taught you. Do it for a week. You'll realize life isn't happening to you. It's happening for you. The Stoic is thankful not just for comfort, but for discomfort, because that's where growth hides. And when you can stay grateful in chaos, chaos loses its grip. Lesson 5. Accept what you cannot change. You waste more energy fighting reality than you do living it. Epictetus taught this over 2,000 years ago. Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. That is the Stoic art of acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means wisdom. It means seeing things clearly, not as you wish they were, but as they are. Most suffering doesn't come from events themselves. It comes from the resistance we create. We replay the argument. We dwell on the loss. We curse the timing. But life was never ours to control. When you accept what you cannot change, you stop being a victim of circumstance. You become an observer, a strategist, a creator who works with reality instead of fighting against it. Imagine you're sailing a ship. The wind changes. You can complain about the wind, or you can adjust your sails. Only one choice gets you anywhere. Acceptance is a superpower because it keeps you moving. It frees your energy from the impossible and redirects it to the essential. You don't have to like everything that happens. You just have to face it with composure. That's what separates the reactive from the resilient. The Stoic repeats, "This too is part of the plan," and by doing so, he transforms what breaks others into what builds him. Lesson 6. Focus on character, not circumstance. You can't always control your situation, but you can always control your standards. Circumstances shift like weather. Character, if forged right, remains unshaken. Seneca said, "A good character, when established, is not easily overthrown." That's why the Stoic invests in virtue more than fortune, because wealth, status, and reputation can vanish overnight. But your character, your honesty, discipline, courage, that's untouchable. Ask yourself, if everything I had disappeared tomorrow, would I still respect who I am? That's the Stoic test. When life is good, character is invisible. When life gets hard, character is revealed. Every setback, every insult, every moment of stress is an invitation to prove your principles mean more than your emotions. In 2026, everyone wants to appear good. Few want to be good. But Stoicism demands you build inward integrity even when no one's watching. Your character is your compass. It tells you which way to move when the world pulls you in every direction. When you focus on character, not circumstance, you stop chasing better conditions and start becoming a better person. And paradoxically, when you elevate yourself, your circumstances often rise to meet you. Focus on your inner wealth. That's the one currency that never loses value. Lesson 7. Master your emotions before they master you. The Stoic doesn't kill emotion, he commands it. Anger, fear, jealousy, pride, they're all visitors in the mind. But the Stoic decides who gets to stay. Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. That's the essence of emotional mastery. It begins with awareness. The moment you feel a surge, anger, anxiety, impatience, don't act. Observe, name it, dissect it. You can't master what you don't understand. When someone insults you, pause. Ask yourself, does their opinion change who I am? When plans fail, breathe. Ask, is this within my control? When fear rises, stay still. Ask, what evidence supports this fear? Most emotions lose their power under the light of reason. They thrive in reaction, but they shrink in reflection. The Stoics journaled every night for this reason, to study their triggers, to refine their responses, to sharpen their awareness. That daily reflection built emotional armor, not coldness, but clarity. To master your emotions is not to suppress them, it's to understand them so deeply that they serve you instead of sabotage you. When you remain calm while others panic, you become a lighthouse in the storm. And that calm doesn't make you weak, it makes you untouchable. Lesson 8. Embrace discomfort as a teacher. Seneca once wrote, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. The Stoics didn't avoid discomfort, they invited it, because they understood that comfort breeds stagnation. Discomfort breeds strength. In a world obsessed with ease, the Stoic chooses challenge. He practices voluntary hardship, fasting, cold exposure, silence, not to suffer, but to remember, I can endure. The more you test yourself, the less life can test you. You miss the bus. You lose the deal. You face rejection. Most crumble because they never trained their spirit. The Stoic, however, is ready. He's already practiced doing without. He's already made peace with struggle. Discomfort is not your enemy. It's your trainer. It builds endurance, patience, and humility. Start small. Take the cold shower. Wake up early. Speak the truth when it's awkward. Resist the impulse to scroll when you're bored. Each act of chosen difficulty builds an unshakable will. Because when you stop running from what's hard, you start discovering who you really are. And here's the paradox. The more you embrace discomfort, the more comfortable life becomes, not because it gets easier, but because you get stronger. Lesson 9. Live by principles, not by pressure. In a world where everyone bends to opinion, the Stoic stands firm. He is guided not by trends or applause, but by principles. Seneca once wrote, it is the power of the mind to be unconquerable. That power comes from knowing your values and refusing to betray them, no matter the cost. Most people live reactively. They change their colors to match the crowd. They compromise what's right for what's easy. But the Stoic doesn't chase comfort. He chases consistency. When you live by principles, You are no longer tossed by the waves of external influence. You become your own foundation. Ask yourself, what do I stand for when no one's watching? What virtues would I die defending? Because without principles, you're just drifting. Busy, successful maybe, but directionless. Marcus Aurelius ruled the most powerful empire on earth, and yet his journal was a prayer for integrity. Every night he reminded himself to stay humble, just, disciplined, and kind. That's the work, not the titles, not the trophies, but the unseen discipline to remain virtuous when the world tempts you to be otherwise. Your life will always reflect your philosophy. If you don't choose it, the world will choose one for you. So choose courage over comfort. Choose honesty over popularity. Choose effort over excuses. When you do, life stops being a reaction and becomes a declaration. Lesson 10. Learn the power of solitude. The Stoics knew that solitude wasn't loneliness. It was strength. We fear being alone because we fear facing ourselves. But the Stoic sees solitude as sacred, a space to think, to reflect, to recalibrate. Epictetus advised his students to retreat into themselves often, not to escape the world, but to understand it more deeply. In solitude, you meet your real thoughts. You see what you actually believe, beyond noise, beyond imitation. You discover whether your actions align with your values or whether you've simply been moving on autopilot. The crowd numbs you. Silence reveals you. Take a day without distractions. No phone, no music, no opinions flooding your mind. Just you and your thoughts. It will be uncomfortable at first. You'll feel restless because distraction has been your drug. But stay. Sit with your thoughts long enough, and they'll start to speak truth. You'll see where you've been lying to yourself. You'll feel which direction your soul has been quietly pointing all along. The Stoic uses solitude to train self-reliance. He learns to be enough for himself. So when the world turns chaotic, he doesn't crumble because he's already built peace within. Solitude is not withdrawal, it's preparation. It's how you return to the world with clarity, direction, and strength. Lesson 11. Remember death. Memento mori. Nothing humbles the ego like remembering that you will die. To the Stoics, this wasn't morbid. It was liberating. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Memento mori. Remember you must die, because remembering death teaches you how to live. When you confront your mortality, you stop wasting time. You stop arguing over trivial things. You stop postponing dreams for a someday that may never come. You start appreciating the ordinary, the sunlight on your skin, the breath in your lungs, the people you love. Death gives meaning to every moment. Without it, we drift in illusion, thinking we have infinite tomorrows. The Stoic meditates on death not to fear it, but to awaken gratitude for life. Every morning you wake up is a loan, not a guarantee. How you use it defines who you are. So live with urgency but not panic, with focus but not fear. Let memento mori remind you, the clock is ticking, and the point is not to live forever, but to live fully before you die. Lesson 12. Align yourself with nature and purpose. The Stoics saw the universe as an ordered, intelligent whole. Everything, including you, has its place and purpose. To align with nature is to act according to reason, virtue, and harmony. It's to stop fighting the current and start flowing with it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it, if it is not true." Do not say it. That is alignment, living in sync with your nature as a rational, ethical being. When you align with nature, you stop chasing artificial goals that leave you empty. You realize that success isn't excess, it's excellence. It's living simply, honorably, and meaningfully. Think of a tree. It doesn't compare, it just grows. It bends in the storm. It seeks light. It fulfills its role. That's how the Stoic lives, not against the flow of life, but within it. Your purpose is not to impress. Your purpose is to express the highest version of your nature, to serve, to learn, to grow, and to act with virtue no matter what happens. When you live in alignment with that, peace follows naturally. You no longer need validation. You no longer need control. You just live, rightly, fully, freely. Closing reflection, the Stoic path to self-mastery. So what does it mean to focus on yourself and watch everything fall into place? It means to turn inward, not in selfishness, but in self-mastery. It means to strengthen your mind, refine your character, and discipline your spirit until chaos can't touch your peace. The world will always test you, with noise, distraction, and uncertainty, but the Stoic remains unmoved. He knows that the true battlefield is within. Focus on what you can control. Accept what you cannot. Respond with virtue, act with courage, speak with truth, live with purpose. Do that, and the world will shift around you, not because it changed, but because you did. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That's the Stoic path. That's how you rise. That's how you dominate, not others but yourself. This is sculpted grace, and this is your reminder that everything you seek begins within. Focus on yourself and watch everything fall into place.